Satnam Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. And it looks like I'm on. Good. I'm seeing some comments already. So if you could put your human design data, that would be great for people to see what your type is, your profile, what other information you know about your human design. And so today I want to talk about Jupiter is aligning with the Earth. Okay. So just of note too, right? We finished that eclipse. I don't know how you felt, but I was like completely zonked after that eclipse. It really affected me. It was like right on my Mars and my Mercury and my Jupiter, right? But directly on my Mars and Mercury. So something was going on. So yeah, we're in it. We're totally in it in terms of intensity. So business is normal, business as usual. You got to throw that out the window, right? Okay, so but I want to talk about Jupiter aligned with the Earth. So the orbit of Jupiter is aligned with the orbit of Earth. So this is doesn't happen normally, basically, right? So this is important. So this is about ancient yogis talked about this when Jupiter comes close to the Earth because it's like our big brother, right? Jupiter. It's so gigantic and it has this huge gravitational pull. So what it does, right, is right here. I just put Jupiter in here. Of course, this isn't scale to size or whatever. I just wanted to get this in here. Is Jupiter, wherever its orbit is, it actually pulls on the sun, our solar sun. And this in turn creates a lot of solar activity. And remember, I talk about solar activity. I think I've got a couple videos on the solar flares, but this has been predicted, right? By the ancients, when we start to see a lot of solar activity, that means that we're ready for a huge shift. And I think we know that. We don't need any more proof of that. So solar flare activity it's information. It's an information field, right? So it's going to really affect the Earth. So we're going to have a lot more activity on the Earth because what it's doing, the solar flares, it's penetrating, right? It's penetrating the electromagnetic field of the Earth, right? So it's weakening the electromagnetic field of the Earth. It's weakening our electromagnetic field, right? So that's getting weakened too and penetrated. And this is the release of memory. So all those ancestral memories have to start releasing. So it really ties in with the program. So it's an information field. It's awakening us, right? This energy is awakening us, and it's bringing attention. Jupiter's bringing attention to the 24, and the Earth, of course, is in the 24 because they're aligned, right? And bringing attention to the interference, the shadow of interference, and that's the 44. Okay, so let's go into the dates so you know the dates. So you got the heads up here. So October 31st, Halloween, till November 6th, Jupiter's aligned with the Earth. So it's direct, like completely exact on November 3rd, and that's when the Earth, right? And here's Jupiter, the 4. So the Earth is in the 0.4 on November 3rd. And at the same day, if that's not enough, Saturn goes direct, right? And this is the planet of karma, right? Karma. It rules this Earth, Saturn, right? So that's moving where it's off pause and now it's going fast forward. Well, fast forward for Saturn it moves at a snail's pace. And also on top of that, this is when the veil is the thinnest, right? It's during Halloween during this time. So that really echoes this memory, ancestral memory. So sun's activity is at its highest peak during this time, right? So the information field is going to get really, really amplified, and that's the neutrinos, right? That's the neutrinos. So I don't want to go over this too much. I'm assuming that you already know this because I talk about it like a broken record, how this program works, but it works through the neutrinos. These are little neutrinos, again, not to scale. They're microscopic. They're subatomic particles that have weight. That means they have information. And that's what this whole system is based on, is the neutrino imprint. So 70% are coming from the sun, 20% are coming from Jupiter, 10 from other stars. So I see this as an important week for us, right? So I want to remind people that we're according to the global cycles, this is the Global Consciousness Program in human design, is that we're at the last epoch. This is the 6th epoch of humanity right here. We're in it. And we're ending a 400-year cycle in the year 2027. So this cross of planning that started in 1615, right? Started in 1615, ending in 2027, right? And then we're beginning a whole new cycle, whole 400-year cycle, the cross of the sleeping phoenix. I just finished a webinar series on that, over 6 hours long. So actually it's probably about 7 or 8 now. So what we need to know, because this is important, right? 2027 is not that far away, not that far away, is whenever we move into a whole new cycle, there's chaos. There's always chaos. Chaos precedes the changing of cycles. That goes with the 3, doesn't it? The 3rd gate. Difficulty at the beginning. It's the beginning, and it's a shadow of chaos. So chaos always precedes the changing of these cycles. And so what we see during the breakdown, right, ending a 400-year cycle, we see the breakdown of social order. We see the institutions are breaking down. We see that our infrastructures are breaking down. Nations, borders, all that stuff is breaking down for this new cycle to emerge. And this is typical. Everything that we've built from 1615 to 2027 is collapsing. So something new can be born. So this is old tribal consciousness. The old tribal consciousness is being mutated out of the human DNA. So we're seeing that reflected out in the world, aren't we? Through the Middle East. So I'm going to go into that a little bit. Okay, so this is what you need to know. This is like we're seeing the death. We're seeing the death in an old cycle, and this is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So in the end, we're just in the process, right? This transformational process, and it can look completely chaotic, but you need to know that there's an underlying intelligence to all of this, right? And thank God the ego isn't in charge, right? The ego is not in charge of this at all. So also remember that we're in the end of the Kali Yuga, right? The Kali Yuga. This is yogic teachings, right? So we're coming out of that, and we're coming. This is when it's in the dark age. We're in the dark age right now, but we're coming out of it. This is when we've been this cycle is when we've been the most disconnected from our divinity, disconnected from the truth of who we really are, that we're spiritual beings having human experiences. The Kali Yuga is ruled by Mr. Ego. This is all about the ego. And it seems like the ego is winning out there, but it's not, right? This is the last grip that the ego has on humanity. And it's not going to let go willingly, but the energy and the consciousness is moving out of egoic consciousness, right? And moving more towards the light, more towards the truth, right? The Sat Yoga. So we're coming up again. We're moving into the light. Okay, so that's the other cycle that we're in. And a lot of the religions out there, if you look at them in truth, they're saying the same thing. This is a time of great, great change. So just a reminder before I got into the chart here, remember my last video, we're at a choice point. We're at the choice point now. So we've got 3 parts to us, right? 3 parts. We've got our angelic self, which is more of the truth of who we are. And then we have our human self, which is the hybrid. The hybrid is carrying both these energies. And this is the animal self. This is ruled by the ego, right? So the angelic self knows the truth. Our angelic self knows the truth, that all is divine, right? It's aligned with unity. Our animal self does not know this and has no idea that this exists. No idea whatsoever, right? Because it's not in this consciousness. Angelic self is a high, high consciousness. Our animal self is a low, low consciousness. So they don't, the animal self has no idea that this is part of you, right? So you've been tricked into thinking that this is you. Most of the world has been tricked that that's you and that this is something else, right? So this is all about division. It's all about duality. It's all about taking sides, this or that. It's all about projection, right? This. So we're in the, before we, we could be the fence sitter. Well, I'll go back and forth here. I'll be my angelic self when I go to the workshops or I do my trainings. I focus on my spirituality, and then I'll go back here, right, into my fear, into my duality, into my blame and complain, my victim, right, and then go back and forth. And now the pressure is on. It's like, okay, enough of this fence sitting. You got to make a choice now, right? You have to make a choice. And this is a commitment. Am I going to commit to my angelic self, or am I going to commit to my animal self? And then after 2027, if you pick your animal self, you pick your fears, you pick your smallness. I'm too small, I'm too little, right? I need safety. I'm going to go along with the crowd. You will be pulled down until you don't have enough willpower anymore. You just won't have the willpower to come back here, right? And that's when it's got you. The animal self has got you. And we'll see this with people. It'll be like a whole new species on the planet, right? These people. And we're already seeing it. There's some people out there, and I'm not judgmental or whatever. I'm looking at it neutrally, that I'm actually communicating to them, and I'm trying to listen to them and what they're saying, and I don't understand them. Like literally, I don't understand the words that are coming out of their mouth. Right? That's this like division that's going to happen with people, and they certainly don't understand me when I'm saying, right? Okay, so you got to make your choice. Now it's time to make your choice. And this is a no-brainer. Choose this. It's a no-brainer. Choose your angelic self. But it takes discipline and trust and faith, right? And having faith. But this is you. This is where all your power is. There's no power here. And the whole world wants you here, because the whole world has been ruled by this animal self and ego for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so remember that. I'm committed to my angelic self, right? I'm committed to that. Okay, so where do we want to go next here? We want to go to what the 44 is about. So the sun is being pulled by Jupiter. So the Jupiter is saying, look at the sun, look at the sun, look at the sun. This is going to be really, really intense. So again, can we get any more messages, more about the spleen, right? More and more about the splenic awareness system. And this is our, rules our body and our sense of well-being. So it's on the 44 there. So remember, I told you that every gate, all of these gates, this is our ancient awareness system that keeps us alive, that kept the species alive. It did a really good job because we're still here. This is the fear of the past, right? Everyone has a fear. This is the fear of the past, right? And we're seeing that. It's just like biblical out there. I don't know if I'm sure you've been following the news and what's going on out there, right? It's like so biblical. It's quite amazing to me what's happening in the world. So the 44, let's talk about the 44. So it's the fear of the past, right? Making the same mistakes again from the past. It's coming to meet, it's called the gate of coming to meet. So this rules smell. It's the nose. It's, have you got your third eye, you got your third nose. You got your third nose here. This is about smell. So it's like you can smell a rat. And I noticed something actually during the Amrit Vela. If you practice early morning sadhana on the Kundalini Yoga tradition. I'm sure other traditions too have like Amrit Vela. It's the 2.5 hours before sunrise, when the earth is at the sun and the earth are at a particular angle. That really helps cleanse the subconscious mind. There's a smell. I notice this. It's like wherever I go, like wherever I am in the world, it's like I know that smell. It's a smell, right? It's a smell. It's a pure smell. So this is, I smell a rat. I can smell a rat. I can smell that there's something off, right? So it's not like you're sniffing around your world, right? It's just going to come naturally to you because it's part of this, and it's a transit for all of us. So it's going to come through this ancient awareness system. We all have it because we're all in these vehicles. So this is, I'm aware, right? Because this is an awareness system. So I'm aware in an ancient awareness system. I'm aware of being manipulated because the shadow on the other side of this is off the willpower center, is I'm being manipulated. So the manipulator, the 26, lies for the tribe. This is all about keeping tribal consciousness alive right now. So I'm going to lie for the tribe, and I'm going to justify it. This is how tribal consciousness works. I'm going to justify it because the ends, right? The means justify the end. I will do whatever I have to do, right? I will lie. I will cheat. I will undermine. I will do anything because the means justifies the end, right? And the end is our tribe wins, right? That's the end. Well, with this transit, you're going to go, I smell a rat here. I feel like I'm being manipulated. It's very instinctual, right? And if your authority is the splenic, then it's like all about in the now. It's like something's off here. My instincts are telling me that something is off here. So trust that. And then the other thing, the 44, because it's about the past, it rules memory. So this is our ancestral memory in the cells, right? So our memory lives in water. It's all about water, right? The memory is in the waters. That's why we're, in terms of purging, it's through the liquid, right? It's through crying, purification of the emotional body. It's through sweating, urinating, everything that has to do with the water, right? It's letting these memories go. Right? So smelling a rat could be like, I know this, right? And maybe you haven't experienced that in this lifetime, but you remember from your previous lifetimes. Remember, this is a printout of the subconscious mind, but it's also a printout of your ancestors. All your ancestral stuff is right here in the body. All the ancestral memories are right here in the body. And you've got a protection mechanism here. It's like, I smell a rat. Because the ancestors plugged that in before they left. Look for this, look for that. It's not logical. Look for this, look for that. It will keep you alive, keep you safe in this lifetime. So you can really trust your instincts in the now this week, right? This is like super amplified. And this draws to you the right people in your life, right? The right people in your life are going to come. So trust your instincts with people. Right? If your instincts are saying this, like I smell a rat, there's something off with this person, then they're not for you, right? Your vehicle is showing you they're not for you, and they're not on your fractal line. They're not your soul tribe. And then collectively, we're going to smell a lot of rats through the media, and people are already smelling rats. Okay, so then we've got the 24, and that's where the Earth is. Right? And that's where Jupiter is. Jupiter's been in there quite a while. And that's up here. Right? So this is all tribal, this stuff, right? All tribal. And then this is individual. It's individual. So whenever you get individuality, I'm a pure individual, it comes with melancholy. That's just the chemistry of that too. So just be aware of that. You could be feeling a little bit down. But don't make stories up about it. It's just the chemistry. It's mutative. The individual is very mutative. So this is about our individual thinking for yourself, right? Not being programmed by the external. not being programmed by the manipulators, right? This is your own individual thinking. So these are going to work together this week. So this is it's called the gate of the return because you go over things. I've got this natally, right? So you go over things over and over and over and over and over. You're looking from every side, this side, that side, up, down, right? Everywhere from all these different perspectives. And it's just how this mind works, right? This is the mind, the ajna. It's just how it works. So over and over and over and over and over and over and over until knowing comes, right? So when you're in this process of like going over like a broken record, over, it's the aha comes. That's the knowing, right? So it's going to come through sound. It will come through sound. So if you have ringing or buzzing in your ears, then you're under the influence of this 24, right? To not give it attention, just let the mind do what it needs to do, and then the aha will come. And it's interesting too. So it's going to be about the past. It's going to be about our instincts, what we need to know, right? What we really need to know. And then look at that. Venus is in the 47, our old pal of oppression, the gate of oppression. So these ones up here, this is a mental pressure, the 61, the 64, 61, 63. That's a mental pressure. And then these are the ones that have to make sense of everything. So these are like the crazy gates right here. And why are they crazy? Because it's a pressure. And if you're identified with your mind, which many people are, it can make you crazy. Obsessive, like obsessive compulsive, OCD. You just can't let things go because you're trying to make sense of this pressure when it's just a pressure. It's all it is a pressure. So this is oppression and this is karmic. It's also very, very karmic, that 47. And it has to do with our ancestral karma, right? That you hold in your physical form. So this is this obsession with getting an answer. I need an answer, right? And watching this could be like, well, I'm going to watch these YouTubes over and over and over again. Maybe not the same YouTube, but similar themed YouTubes. I got to get the bottom of this, the transit. So we're going to see some rats. We're going to see some rats come this week because this is a global transit. People are not going to be able to let go, right? There's something off here. So check to see if you have this natally, right? Remember, this isn't a transit. Like I don't have the 44, but I have the 24, right? But if you've got the 44 or the 26, then you're going to be influenced by this, right? By this transit, or you got the 61, but you don't have the 24, right? Okay, so trying to make sense of the world, right, is madness. And so remember that you will know what you need to know. You will know what you need to know. Any excess, it's not you don't need to know that, right? For some reason you don't need to know that, but just trust by the end of this transit that you'll know what you need to know, and to trust that. And Uranus, where's Uranus down there? It's the 23. So Uranus, right? This is communication because it's the throat chakra. This is simplicity. It's the gift of simplicity. So don't get caught up in this, in the mind, in complexity, because that can make you crazy. Complexity is the ego. It's the shadow. This is the shadow of complexity. It can, if it's too complex, you know that there's lies there because you're in your head, and that's where these negative forces, right, wants you in your head, wants you in duality, right, wants you on this side, choosing sides and duality, not in being in lies, right? Being in a lie. That's what you are when you choose sides, because it's not who you are. You're this. The angelic self knows that all is divine. Okay, so let's go to beliefs, because Jupiter is also about beliefs. Jupiter is like the guru, right? That which brings you from the darkness into the light. The goo or the ru to the goo brings you into the light. And the light is the light of who you really are. It's the truth. And the ru, that's the ego. It's the darkness of the ego, right? So it also rules beliefs, and it also rules religion, right? It rules the ninth house and the 12th house, like it's the ancient ruler of the 12th house. Pisces. So this is, remember this cycle that we're leaving, right? This cross of planning, and we're going into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So there's a lot that's happening with this end, the breakdown, the institution. So the institution of religion is breaking down as well. So it's said that this is our last big challenge, 2023 to 2027. We're going to be in this big time, right? And this has to do with beliefs. Jupiter rules beliefs, and it's in the shadow of addiction. So addicted to beliefs, going over and over the same thing in the head when you're in the shadow frequency, right? That this is my belief. I can't let it go. I just can't let it go because it's karmic and it's ancestral. And so our typical way with the cross of the planning and before that was we're going to resolve this with violence and conflict and war. That's our animal self, right? That's the ego. That's the only way we can get rid of it. Because the ego has no idea that it's coming from inside. The source is from inside us. So we end up fighting our demons and fighting our own shadows out in the external world and getting nowhere. This does not solve anything, as we've seen over these hundreds and hundreds of years. This does not solve anything. It just continues, because what you do is you just feed the shadow, right? And both groups got their group shadow projected on the group shadow, and then they fight and they get nowhere. So this time is the end of beliefs, right? The end of beliefs. And we're seeing the power of beliefs, aren't we? Out in the world, the power of beliefs. People are really taking sides. It's like really, really amazing. I feel like it's more powerful than 2020 when people took sides, right, over science. And now they're taking sides over religion. That's the next one, right? Is religion. This is going to be the big theme in the next 3-4 years. So we have to end these beliefs, because this is tribal, right? These beliefs are tribal. And remember, with the tribe wants you eating the same food. The tribe, this consciousness wants you to eat the same food because you smell like us, because you're eating the same food. We want you to look like us, wear the same kind of clothing, and we want you to be educated like us, so we think alike, and we want you to believe like us. So believe in the whatever the deity is for that tribe, right? Which is just the projection, right? A projection onto the divine. And the divine can't be projected upon because it's the totality. It's all. We can't project on the divine. Like we're like a little tiny dot compared to the divine, if that. So remember, Jupiter rules Pisces, and this is the teacher preacher, right? So the teacher preacher promises you something to believe in, right? The afterlife, the heaven, the virgins, whatever it is, right? Something to believe in. It's all about belief. This is our relationship with the divine since like thousands of years. It's about belief. So right now we're seeing extremes, and this is for a reason. We're seeing the extremes. They have to be seen. These extremes have to be seen. Globally, we're in the channel, the 5432. The channel of transformation, and that means this is about extremes. In order to transform, we need to see these extremes, which is only a reflection on how much pressure this old tribal consciousness is under, right? So we're going to see more and more extremes connected to beliefs, right? Connected to beliefs. So hold steady. So remember that the new theme after 2027 There's no more belief. No more belief after 2027. It's going to be to have a direct experience of the divine, right? So start working on that right now. I'm having my own direct experience of the divine. If somebody tries to talk you, I always use the analogy of if you stub your toe, right? And you're like, oh, I'm in pain. Oh, that's so hurt. And somebody comes by and says, you're not in pain. What are you talking about? Right? I don't believe that you're in pain. Well, you can speak from your own direct experience and say, no, this is my experience. I am in pain. But if you're not having a direct experience of the divine and you're in this tribal consciousness of belief, right, then you can be talked out of all kinds of things that take you out of your authenticity because you're here, you're in belief, you're in the head, right? You're not in your direct experience of the divine. And this is what we're being called to do. And religion is about believing in someone else's experience of the divine. It's now time for us to have our own direct experience. So this is all going. This is our last big challenge as humanity as we come more and more into unity consciousness. So beliefs, like look at your beliefs now. Like what beliefs do I have in my life, especially around the divine? What are my beliefs? I want to get clear on my beliefs. Well, anything that promotes division and separation is not true. That's not true. Division and separation. The divine is undivided, can't be divided, the divine, right? So division and separation, this is a lie, right? My belief, or going into my belief, or our tribal belief is the absolute truth. And everybody should be following this. This is also a lie because it promotes separation. My belief is the absolute truth and yours isn't. Anything that dehumanizes other people, right, makes them the demon. They're the demons. They're the dark forces. They're my shadow, basically, that I don't want to own. That's what's going on. It's the projection, right? The projection of shadow onto another. And it's very, very powerful when a group does this. We're gonna take our group shadow and we're gonna project it onto another group. And basically what you're doing to those other people, you project that they're doing it to you, right? It's like fighting with the mirror, basically. So anything that promotes that, no, that's not true. It's not true. You want to dig this up. Maybe your ancestors had this and it's inside you, right? And any part of you that's fighting with this, like even listening to this right now, that Michael's wrong. He's full of it because, and then all the reasons. Well, then this is what you're choosing. You're choosing duality and division, right? And it's not true. And you'll be pulled down during this time that we're in right now. We're in a really pressurized time. And once you just make the commitment to go here, you'll just feel this, okay, I'm committed to this. I'm not going to go into confusion. I'm not going to go into my head. I'm not going to fight with people, right? I'm not going to go into anger and fear and all that. It's like I'm continually commit to this. It's like you relax. You know what I mean? You relax when you're in this space. And also these ancient texts, these ancient texts that these beliefs come from, right? That are very, very old. Remember that anything under true understanding doesn't come from literal interpretation, because that you have to look at it like if these prophets and deities or whatever, and they're speaking, right? Guru Nanak and Jesus and all the avatars, they were speaking in the moment that they were in to the people that were in front of them. And a lot of people go into literal interpretation. And this is not true understanding, right? The true understanding comes from one state of consciousness. Whatever your consciousness is, you're able to receive the truth. So just be aware of that too. But you don't want to be fighting with people about this because it's belief, right? They're in their belief. And if they're in a state of consciousness that's very, very low, they're not going to let go of this belief, right? Their beliefs. Okay. Okay. So what we're learning as a humanity with this last big challenge is letting go of this old tribal consciousness that has to go. It served us, but it's no longer appropriate for us because it keeps us in separation. This time is about differentiating ourselves, right? Being our unique self, and then we can come into unity, but not before. So what we're learning as a humanity is to go to the essence of these belief systems because there's truth. Religion, yeah, the meaning of religion is to go to your origin, is to remember your origin and remember that you've come from the divine, right? And the divine is all, right? It's all. And every single person and every single thing you see out there is a manifestation of the divine. There's no separation. There's no demons, right? There's only all. It's all divine. And so we can get tricked into believing that, right? That's the problem outside of us. Okay. So I just wanted to, I've got 2 more slides. Just a sec, you guys, because I want to leave you empowered here. Is what we're doing here. There we go. That's funny that didn't come up. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. So remember, knowledge is power. Or what's empowerment? I'm all about empowerment because I'm a pure individual. I'm here to empower you. Right? So empowerment is knowledge about yourself, your unique self. That's what true empowerment is. So you need to be empowered by the knowledge about who you are, your uniqueness. And human design really helps with that because it's a science of differentiation. It shows you as an enlightened being, you as a differentiated, unique self, right? So it's having this knowledge is empowering. And also to do your inner work, your shadow and inner child work, right? You can do. And to remember that we are witnessing a dying world. That's why we're here. We're witnessing a dying world and we can't fix it, right? This is a big one. Just feel the relief of that. Like, I can't fix the world. I can't fix the world because this is the program. This is the way it's meant to go. This is the way that everything is unfolding, that you can't fix it. You're here to witness it. You're here to witness it. And that's why you've incarnated at this time to be the holy witness, right? The holy witness of this transitional time. And this is our challenge right now, right? So this is not, so what does it mean to be a holy witness? Doesn't mean that you go numb at all, but you're witnessing what is going on. You're witnessing the suffering, the conflict, everything, all the scary stuff, but you're not getting trapped in duality. That's the trap. That's the trap right there. And this is taking sides. It's saying they're right and they're wrong, and I'm taking their side, and I'm going to invest all of my life force energy. I'm going to invest all my emotions, my emotional investment into this side, and I'm going to fight this other side. Right? So that's do anything that puts you in duality, which is going out of this space, right? Going away from all is divine and everything and everyone is a manifestation of that divine, right? So this is a tough one. The one throwing the bomb, they're divine. The one receiving the bomb, they're divine, right? And so it's all happening. This is just a play. This is just the play of consciousness that's happening. And remember that the divine can never be harmed, because it's eternal. It was never born and will never die. This is the soul, right? It can't be destroyed and it can't be killed, the divine. So to remember that. Yes, these bodies go, right? But the divine doesn't suffer. The divine isn't harmed, right? It's like, okay, then you move on to another incarnation, right? You move on to another incarnation, or maybe another planet somewhere else to keep doing your soul's evolution. So to remember that, don't be getting tricked by these two eyes. It's going to your third eye, your third ear, your third nose. Just right. Everything is divine. Everything is okay. Everybody is okay. Right. At the end. And then you want to watch with compassion. So this is when you want to stay connected to your heart. I'm compassionate. I can feel that lost soul, because the ones that are trapped in this duality, they're lost souls. They've forgotten who they are, right? They believe that they're suffering. They believe that this is only me. I'm only this body. I'm only these five senses. I'm only this head and ego. And I'm suffering. I'm in pain, right? They're lost souls. They've forgotten who they are, but ultimately that's who they are. You want to see through this, right? See through what the two eyes and the ego are telling you. And then you want to watch with compassion. It's a holy witness. So I'm in my heart. I can feel for these people that are lost, right? And I'm non-judgmental. I'm not saying you deserve this, right? That we're all divine. There's no chosen people. We're all divine, right? And you want to be in divine love. And you can't get into divine love until you know yourself, right? Until you know yourself. And to know yourself means to love yourself. So this is why doing your inner work. If you wanted, okay, what do I focus on right now, Michael? Well, these are the signs in the external world. These are the big triggers. It's time to go in. It's time to go in and do my work. It's time to commit to my divinity. It's time to do this inner work, right? And that means facing my shadow. We all have it. Doing my inner child work, letting go of all those emotions and hurts, forgiveness, all that stuff, right? And then you can really be in yourself and be that conduit for divine love. Know your strategy and authority. Even this, if it's like, I'm not ready, I can't do inner work, I can't do shadow work, right? It's to know your strategy and authority. What's your type? Are you a manifesting generator? Are you a projector, reflector, manifester? That in itself is going to help you during this time. It's going to get more and more chaotic. And this will keep you safe. If you want to be around, like I want to be around for the party, right, to see what happens, because we're here on this earth during this transitional time, right? This will keep you safe. And I've heard this so many times with people that are really on the spiritual path. It's like, this is so funny. I left Acapulco. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to go, and boom, the hurricane arrives, and they weren't there. They're just not there for certain things, right? That's your intuition, and you can really trust your strategy and authority to not go into this, because the ego is going to pull out all the stops. This wants to stay alive, this old consciousness, but it's going down, right? So why not be proactive? And the ego is going to promise you you just need to do what they say, this group and these people, what they say, and then you'll be safe and protected. And that's not true. You gotta go into your own inner authority now. And then okay. Sweep as you go. So this is keeping the heart open. Emotions come up, maybe some anger comes up of the injustice of what's happening in the world. Fear can come up, right? Despair, depression can come up. The sweep as you go is just to feel it. Just feel it as it comes up, right? That's all you have to do. You don't need to make up a story or make any decisions from that place. It's just feel it. And then to know without a doubt that all will end well. We're just in the process of transformation, right? All will end well. All's going to end well. And then you want to be the lighthouse for others, right? You want to be that embodiment of truth for others and to help, right? Help, but don't feed anybody's victim, because when you feed somebody's victim story, then you're feeding your own victim. So you want to remember that they too are an eternal soul that's just forgotten who they are, right? But you can be there to lend, right? Even to sit beside someone. No, I can't help you. I can't fix you, but maybe I can sit beside you, right? And as you suffer, and I can be there with you, might be present with you. That's really important too for people. It's like, I'm here for you. I'm just going to sit with you. Yeah. Okay. So that's the week we got coming up. Uh, Linda says, I just want to say, Linda likes my slideshow. I like it too. I like working with images, actually. They're a great teaching tool, aren't they? Because I think in images anyway. I remember things better too with images. I'm just going to go through some comments. Okay. Yeah, the 28th. So C Moon says, super excited for Jupiter on her IC. And we're still in the 20. Oh, and your core wound is the 28 too. So 28. Yeah, the 20. You got to watch out if you got a 28 because the suicide card can come up with that shadow of the 28. It's about valuing life, right? Valuing life. Do I value my own life with the 28? And we're in that transit right now. Is my life worthwhile? Is my life pointless? Right? That's the shadow. So to watch that. And whenever you're in that state, just know this too shall pass. It's just some bad inner weather that's moving through me, right? This is the sweep as you go. So remember, because we're in the 28 right now, that your life does have value. Like tell yourself that. Don't listen to that animal egoic self telling you you don't matter and you've got no value, you've got nothing to contribute. You got to start discerning that's not my voice, that's not me, right? I do have value. You have value in what you're here to bring because we're all gifted. 8 billion people, there's only one you. Okay. Okay. Yes, it is an incredible time to be alive when you're aligned with your true self. Yay. Shima put it out there. I'm committing to my angelic self. Say it. I'm committed to my angelic self. Okay. Yeah. CC Moon, check out if you got the 47 too, right? Or the 44. Yeah. And the full moon too. You retain more water during the full moon. Yeah. Elizabeth's got the crazy lights, the crazy gates, Elizabeth Light, the 64, the 61, and the 47. It's really the 64 and the 61 and the 63 are the crazy gates. But the gift of them, because this can make you mad, because if you're identified with your mind, like I said, and you're trying to figure everything out, right? So check your natal chart if you have these. These are really funny, and I discovered this because I've been studying, this since really 2005, the human design and the gene keys. That whenever I got to the 64 and the 61 and the 63, like all the other ones I can like rattle off, right? Rattle off. They're just there. They're just there. It's not, I don't have to make a mental effort. But as soon as I get up to here, I noticed as soon as I got up to the 64, the 61, and the 63, it was always like, wow, like they were like just, it was like with not in my grasp. And then it's like I've discovered why that is because they're outside of the body, right? These are the 64, 61, 63 are outside of the body. So if you have these gates, you never really land. Do you know what I mean? You never really land in the body with these gates. You're kind of like a little bit outside of your body. Not say that you're discarnated or whatever, right? But it's the gift here is that you're open. You're open to downloads, right? It's downloads from the divine. So that's the gift of the 64, 61, and 63, if you have that, right? Okay. Yes. Complexity is lies. Yeah. The same with spiritual teaching. If it's like way, way too complex, then there's something off, right? I smell a rat. Okay. Okay. Oh. Nazine, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. Yeah. You literally have rats. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Linda, the core wound is your unconscious Mars. I don't have a natal chart here. And then you look at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's either repression, denial, shame, rejection, abandonment, or guilt or separation. Those are the 6 core wounds. Okay. Great, collagen babe. I'm committed to my angelic self. Okay. So that's what I have. And my only announcement that I have is I'm going to have an online retreat, a weekend online retreat. So that will probably be sometime in November, which is a great time to do it because it's all about letting go, right? And what else do I want to say? So commit to your angelic self, keep being yourself, be authentic. If something's coming up, right? You can't get into that old suit anymore with the eclipse energy, the right? Because we'll try to get back into our smallness and the way we were before, our old self. Because the battle is the new self, old self too. This angelic self really wants to come in. Is I'm committing to like not going back there because it's too painful. You know, when you've outgrown something or outgrown a relationship, to go back to that space, it's not going to work. Anger will come up, right? Anger will come up because I just can't put on this old suit any longer, right? Because your authenticity is coming in more and more now, right? So be authentic and true and don't go into fear. You know, if some people leave, it means it's making room for the new people to come in that are more aligned with you. The 44, right? The coming to meet. Okay. So take care of yourself. Don't go business as usual this week. We're in like an intense time. So really keep your schedule, not so pressurized. It's, if people want to make plans, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to feel like tomorrow or the next day, especially if you're emotionally defined, right? It's like, I need space for myself. 44, you need to be alone, especially when we get to November 3rd. That's the 4th line. You need time to be alone, to have those aha and right, those awarenesses come through. Okay. So take care and I'll see you soon, probably sooner than later. Like I'll probably do another live stream on Wednesday or Thursday, mostly probably Thursday. Okay. So nam aloha, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay.